Morning. I thought I'd start this video by asking you a question. What's your time worth? I don't know if you've noticed how many more job opportunities there are amongst all the job losses that we're hearing about. We need more staff in the NHS, more ambulance drivers, delivery drivers, shop workers. There is lots of work to be done for people in IT who can do websites, apps, and all the people that we either didn't appreciate enough before the virus or didn't pay enough are the people that we seem to know need the most now. And I know there are many more roles that I could add to that list of underappreciated careers. Over the weekend, I was talking over the fence to my neighbour about exactly that. And he pointed out that his wife is a childminder, which I knew, of course. And she just realised that she would earn more money by working for a supermarket, along with getting holiday pay and sick leave and a lot less stress, than looking after two children all day for other families. And when she came out and joined in the conversation, she was saying that now a lot of her friends are talking about whether they will reconsider their roles as childminders after the lockdown. And it was on top of the fact that there are already a shortage of childminders. And that brings me to the point that I was making in the emails to my database a couple of weeks ago. People are starting to think about what's really important to them, and we can all use this extra time to really think about what's important to us. And then the next step to that is, of course, thinking about and understanding and getting in control of your money, because when you combine the two, what's really important to you and understanding money, then you can use money and make money work so that you can do the things that are important to you. And when I published my book, it feels like a lifetime ago, January 2019, it's a year ago, it's a long time, but it feels like an absolute lifetime ago. When I published that book, The Wealthy Retirement Plan, A Revolutionary Guide to Living the Rest of Your Life in Style, my goal was exactly that, to get you to think about what's important in your life, to get you to take back control of your finances and increase your financial understanding, to imagine what would you do if you didn't have to work in the way that you did then, which actually really applies now because very few of us are working in the way we did now. And then to look at creating your entire new life going forward. And I think that's something very relevant and something that we can be doing now. So while it was set in the context of retiring early, in actual fact, it can be reimagining what retirement could be like. It could be reimagining what your future could be like. So in fact, instead of calling the book The Wealthy Retirement Plan, we could call it The Wealthy Future Plan. So what I really wanted to do today is to set you a challenge, okay? And today's challenge is to build on the ideas that I've been sharing with you, to start to appreciate how you have been valuing your time pre the virus, when you had that normal paying job, or you did that normal business or ran your normal business. And the reason for starting to think about that is so that when this is all over, you can make more informed decisions about what you want to do going forward. Because I'm sorry to say this to you on a Monday lunchtime, and I'm sure you all know it anyway, but life is not going to be the same in 6 months from now. We're going to lose a lot of people, and some people we know and love, others, tens of thousands of others that we don't know, and that's going to change the fabric and the feeling of both this country and the world for good. And I think we're going to start to first individually coalesce around the things that are important to us as family groups, and then collectively we're going to start to appreciate different things, and then we'll start to group around those different values. And this was what the email was about that I sent to my database 2 weeks ago. And in fact, I'm going to start sharing some of these articles out onto Facebook and LinkedIn over this next week. But of course, the good weather's distracted me slightly, so might not be until a bit nearer towards the end of the week. We'll see. If it rains, they'll be out a lot sooner. So the practical task that I want to ask you today is to think about how much time you spent working and how much money you earned, and then work out what that was as an hourly rate. And it doesn't really matter how you do it. I was going to talk you through the equation, but it doesn't matter. Take any amount of time that you think reflects the amount of time you work and divide it about through into the amount of money that you earned when you were working. So, for example, if you worked 10 hours and you earned £100, the answer is 10. Just do it any way you like. The point is to come up with a number that is a monetary value for an hour. And then what I want to get you to do this week is to think about all those items that you're spending money on, all those items that you've spent money on the past. Start looking around your house and go, crikey, I had to work X number of hours to buy that phone, that laptop, that TV. This top cost me an hour, or this top cost me 2 hours, whatever it is. Start to think about what you're spending money on, and then how many hours you have to work to have that item, and then think, okay, so in order to have this item, I have to work 5 hours, but that's 5 hours working rather than 5 hours doing the things that I love. Now, I know that there's going to be business owners out there and they're going to be saying, oh, but I love what I do. And they certainly gave me those answers before the virus hit. So when I was speaking at the business show in Excel, which has now been converted into the Nightingale Hospital, I would say to people, what are you going to do when you give up work? I'm never going to give up work, they say. I love what I do. I'm going to die working. Well, that has a whole different meaning now, doesn't it? And I really do believe that we've been given this challenge, but with every challenge, there's an opportunity. And this is the gift of extra time for us to really think about what's important to us. Instead of doing what we've always done, that's the Albert Einstein quote, isn't it? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. What if you thought about things differently and changed it around the other way around and said, actually, this is what I want. And then how am I going to go about getting it? How can I create the life that I want? So what matters to you now will be even more important in the near and the new future. And it won't be the same as what mattered to you before the virus. Some things will be the same. I'm sure that you still valued family all the way along, but maybe your appreciation of family will crystallize, will sharpen. Now think about how you're spending your money, how you spent your money in the past, how you're spending your money now, and will you choose to spend your money like that in the future? Because if you think that every single thing that you spend your money on is time away from doing the thing that you love, then maybe you'll reconsider that purchase. Now, this almost goes against what I was saying last week, is where we need to get the economy going. And I'm not saying we're all going to stop spending, but I think we're going to start spending on different things. Now, from a business and entrepreneurial perspective, what are the things that everybody's opinions are going to shift to? I've been looking for compost. So I found myself doing a vegetable garden, because what else are we going to do with our time? We're stuck in the house, stuck in the garden. So I'm having a go at growing things. I've planted seeds and some of them are even sprouting. So because the challenge now is that we need to plant those out and actually make them turn into things that are edible. So that's going to require, and I'm getting too much into the detail of gardening, that's going to require potting compost. You cannot get potting compost because you can't go to the shops and buy it. You can't get it delivered because the garden centres are completely overwhelmed with the deliveries, that there are no slots. Hence, back to the point I was making earlier, we need more delivery drivers. And so I thought, oh, you know the place to go, Amazon. I googled Amazon. There are people selling what are normally 4 or 5 bags of potting compost on Amazon for £30. Now, this is price gouging, but I mean, are they really going to get arrested for price gouging on compost? I don't approve. I haven't bought it that way. I've found other sources. But what I would suggest to you is that what we value now and then what we value in the future is going to change, and that's going to change our spending habits. And many of us, many of you, are going to find maybe that you don't have the job that you had before, or maybe you don't have the job that you had in the same way when this is all over. We're already hearing about Debenhams maybe closing, and that's, on top of all of what else is going on, 20,000 people that are going to lose their jobs. So think about where you are in terms of work and business now, and will that still be the same when we're out the other side in our brave new world? And do you want to work in the same way that you did if that opportunity is there for you? Or do you want to work differently? And if you do want to work differently, how do you want to work differently? And all of this loops back up to your spending. Because if you understand what's important to you and what you value, and you're more in control of your finances, then how much money you need in order to have the life that you want will change. And therefore, your choices about how you earn that money can change. You could still do the same job if it's there for you, if you want and you like it and you enjoy it. You might not have to do it for as many hours. You could choose to do that job differently, or you could choose to do a completely different job, or you might choose that actually as a family unit, one of you could work 4 days a week and one of you could work 3 days a week. Who knows quite how your lives will change? But unless you understand what's important to you, unless you get more financially aware, increase your financial intelligence so that you understand your money and your spending, how are you going to make more informed choices? And one of the things that I just wanted to suggest to you today is things are going to change. And maybe one way to think about your spending habits is how many hours do you have to spend away from doing the things that you would choose to do, the things that you would love, the people that you would choose to be with if you didn't have to work, and you spend that time away from them simply to have that thing. Is that thing really worth it anymore? Or would you rather spend more time with the people and the places and the activities that matter to you? So it's just a quick video today because I can go on for absolutely hours. I can see my daughter's just joined this video. Hi. And hopefully we're going to be able to stare out the front door at her and our grandson as they come back from the doctors. And it's these brief glimpses, the online parties, the conversations over the fence that are the new joys to be treasured. On Thursday night, going out and clapping and waving at neighbours and chatting to neighbours and learning their names and asking after them. These are new things that we maybe didn't do before, and they are gifts that come in the time of crisis. So please stay well, stay safe. I'll speak to you again next week, I'm sure. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. We've got lovely weather. If you're lucky enough to have a garden, stay in it, stay safe, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Vicky Boucher, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.